great pleasure today to be the MC for the City of Milwaukee's Fire and Police Commission Chief of Police Oath of Office ceremony for Jeffrey B. Norman. I want to give him a hand. We're going to start this program off with a prayer from Chaplain George Papa Christo of the Milwaukee Police Department.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon. Let us pray. Almighty God, in times past you have raised up leaders for your people to provide them with guidance and direction. We thank you that today you have called forth a new leader for the Milwaukee Police Department with whom we celebrate this most worthy appointment. As Chief Jeffrey Norman steps into a position of great responsibility, may you grant him clarity in his decisions, courage in his leadership, compassion in his interactions, and wisdom to seek your counsel, especially during such critical times as we are facing in society and in law enforcement. We ask that you continue to support the Norman family who have stood by him as he has progressed in his career, this great accomplishment that we celebrate today. With your guiding hands, may his efforts make the City of Milwaukee and the Milwaukee Police Department a better place for all. Please bless the leadership of this department, the City of Milwaukee, the State of Wisconsin, and our nation. Please bless the officers of the Milwaukee Police Department and officers throughout the land, and may you continue to bless the United States of America. We ask this all with great humility and praise in your most powerful name. Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain. We now will have opening remarks by Chair Erwin Falone of the Fire and Police Commission.
Mr. Mayor, President Johnson, and distinguished members of the Milwaukee Common Council, my honorable fellow commissioners on the Fire and Police Commission, and our esteemed executive director, representatives from the Milwaukee Police Department and the Milwaukee Fire Department, members of the public, both present and viewing from home, and of course, Police Chief Designate Jeff Norman and all of his family. Welcome. We are gathered here today for the swearing in of Jeff Norman as Milwaukee's 20th police chief. Now, at the outset, I would like to address a burning question. It's a question that I began hearing this past August when the Fire and Police Commission embarked on a new search for a permanent police chief. It's a question that gathered momentum when the FPC invited then Acting Chief Norman to be the sole applicant for the police chief position. And it is a question that people have asked in City Hall and in community centers on the north side of Milwaukee and in coffee shops on the south side of Milwaukee. Just hire Jeff already. What's taking you guys so long? That's the question that I have heard over and over the course of the past 4 months. Now, the Milwaukee Fire and Police Commission, as you know, is an independent body made up of 7 commissioners. The commissioners are appointed by the mayor and confirmed by the Common Council, but we do not answer to either of them. Instead, we answer to the people of Milwaukee. The Fire and Police Commission was created 136 years ago. Among our responsibilities are setting overall policies and standards for the Milwaukee Police Department, overseeing citizen complaints and disciplinary appeals for police officers, recruiting and testing applicants to the police department, and most relevant today, hiring the chief of police. So what took us so long? Sure, we heard wonderful things about Jeff Norman. It seems that everyone in Milwaukee has wonderful things to say about Jeff Norman. But the FPC had an institutional obligation to investigate and verify our candidate's background. We had to ensure that the next police chief of Milwaukee had a strategy and a vision for public safety that aligns with the views of the commission. And we had to assess whether Jeff Norman possesses the leadership qualities that are necessary in order to inspire loyalty and in order to transform the culture of the Milwaukee Police Department. So yes, it took our time. We treated this process the same way that we would investigate any other candidate for permanent police chief. And after hours of planning and work and deliberation, the Fire and Police Commission came to a conclusion. Jeff Norman really is as exceptional as everyone says he is. His exceptionalism starts with his family. Our police chief designate is married to Dr. Sharnesia Norman. She is beautiful and charming, and on top of that, an accomplished physician. They are raising 2 children, a son who is an outstanding soccer player, at least that's what he says, and a daughter who is a budding ballerina. A police chief married to a doctor, raising 2 talented children. To be honest, it sounds more like a television sitcom than real life, but it is. Chief Norman also comes to this job with an impressive set of credentials. He holds a BS from the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee, a Master of Science degree from Chaplain University, and a law degree from Marquette University Law School, where he somehow managed to avoid taking any classes from me. Another sign of his good judgment. Chief Norman has advanced steadily within the Milwaukee Police Department since joining the force in 1996. He has excelled at every level of the department, including as the captain of District 3 and the assistant chief of the Criminal Investigations Division. Perhaps the most important qualification that Police Chief Designate Jeff Norman brings to his job is his vision. During the interview process, he outlined his commitment to community-oriented policing. He also set forth his expectation that the men and women of the Milwaukee Police Department will meet constitutional standards in their interactions with Milwaukee residents, and he has accepted responsibility for ensuring that this is the case. In addition, he explained that he is actively pursuing ways to further civilianize the Milwaukee Police Department and to identify department functions that can be effectively filled by non-sworn personnel. This process will achieve budgetary savings while at the same time focusing and maximizing the impact of our sworn officers. And let's not forget the credential that, for many, is Chief Norman's strongest asset. He is a homegrown product of the city of Milwaukee. Over the past 4 months, I got to know Chief Norman, and I was especially impressed by the way I observed him interacting with members of the public. He treats ordinary folks with the respect that they deserve. He is comfortable talking to members of the public. And certain words pop up again and again as I listen to his conversations. He talks about engagement with the community. He talks about collaboration with community-based organizations. He talks about partnership with the Fire and Police Commission. I think that's my favorite. And he talks about earning the public's trust and being accountable. So the conclusion was inescapable. While we face many challenges as a city in the future in dealing with issues relating to public safety, with Jeff Norman, Milwaukee has found a leader for the future. I admit that the Milwaukee Fire and Police Commission took its own sweet time in reaching this conclusion, but at least we got it right. Now, as we are set to begin the Chief Norman era here in Milwaukee, I would like to turn away from the question of how we got here and turn instead to where we are going in the future. The future of Milwaukee can really be summarized in one word: opportunity. And what that means is not just opportunities we take, but also those opportunities that we throw away. The city of Milwaukee needs to take advantage of the opportunities that present themselves to us. And today we have the opportunity to appoint Jeff Norman and swear in Jeff Norman, a leader with vision, to the position of police chief of the city of Milwaukee. And by proceeding with today's ceremony, the city of Milwaukee is seizing an important opportunity. However, we must also be cautious about the opportunities we throw away. Chief Norman is extending his hand to all of us. He is asking the entire community to walk alongside the Milwaukee Police Department in making our city safer and more livable. He is asking for us, you and me, those present in this room and those not present, to stand up and become his partner as he addresses the public safety needs of our city. This is another and a different opportunity that we face. Now, at this moment in time, all of us are united behind Jeff Norman. We're united behind his policing strategy. We are united behind his intention to pursue close collaboration and engagement between the residents of the city and our police department. Today, our elected officials, the leaders of our community-based organizations, the residents of the city of Milwaukee, and the Fire and Police Commission are all on the same page with our new police chief. Now, how often have we been able to say that in our city's history? Having seized one opportunity by selecting Jeff Norman to be our police chief, will we fail to take the hand that he is extending, and will we throw away another opportunity? We cannot afford to let today's unity of purpose dissipate or disappear. If we allow that to happen, and if we let the things that divide us take precedence over the things that unite us, and if we fail to follow through on the promise we are making today to act as Chief Norman's partner in improving public safety for everyone, then I'm afraid we will end up throwing away a rare opportunity. Jeff Norman has extended his hand to us, and we must take it. So in conclusion, yes, the Fire and Police Commission did take its time. And what did we learn over the last 4 months? We learned that Police Chief Jeff Norman is the right person to lead the Milwaukee Police Department in the years ahead. We learned that the residents of Milwaukee are ready to give Police Chief Norman the support that he needs in order to succeed. We learned that the mayor, the Common Council, the Fire and Police Commission, and the residents of Milwaukee are all united behind his vision of policing. Let's take advantage of this moment. Let's seize this opportunity. Thank you, and congratulations, Chief Norman.
Chair Falone, thank you for those words. Now we're going to have Chief Executive of the City of Milwaukee, the one and only Mayor Tom Barrett. Let's give him a hand.
Thank you very much, Keith, and good afternoon. Welcome to all of you to Milwaukee's beautiful City Hall, and in particular these ornate chambers. To the Chief and your family, congratulations. This is well-deserved. I'm happy for you, and I'm even happier for our city. But before I spend a few minutes talking about you, I want to recognize a few other people first. As was just mentioned, one of the challenges we have had over the last several years is stability in our government, in particular, stability in the Fire and Police Commission. And you just heard from Chairman Falone the reasons I am so proud that he is running Fire and Police Commission as the chairman of that committee. You have, members of the Fire and Police Commission, restored the respect for your institution. And that wasn't necessarily easy. And I want to thank every single commissioner for taking responsibility to serve on this commission and doing so in a professional, respectful fashion. I also want to thank Lee Todd for his leadership as well. The Fire and Police Commission, as Chairman Falone said, is a very, very important mission in this city. It's important for city government, but it's even more important for the residents of this city because of the power that's invested in it. And in order for us to be successful as a community, we have to have this commission working and basically working on all cylinders. And I'm proud that it now is. So please give all of our commissioners and Lee Todd a round of applause. So today is Chief Norman's Day. It's a day for him and his family to your wife and children, congratulations to you. Children, now please be nice to your dad for a while. That's all I'm asking. I'm on your dad's side no matter what happens, just so you know where I'm coming from. As a dad, I'm always on the dad's side. But this is a great opportunity for your family as well, and I know you're going to embrace it. But this is a heavy weight. This is a very heavy weight. Let's talk about America 2021. What we're seeing nationally, what we're seeing in this state, what we're seeing locally, what we're seeing on television today. Everyone in this chamber recognizes that the work being done by police departments and police chiefs is more challenging than it probably has ever been in American history. And there's one word that I think summarizes what's necessary for us to succeed as a nation, as a state, as a community, as a police department. And that word is respect. Chairman Falone used that word in his statement. And we have never needed respect in our society more than we need it today. And what do I mean by respect? I understand, as does everyone in this chamber, that there are tensions between some members of our community and our police department. All you have to do is pick up a newspaper or turn on the television, and you're going to see it day after day after day. So we can wring our hands, or we can get frustrated, or we can get angry as to how we move forward as a nation and a community. Or we can commit ourselves to something that was probably taught to us by our parents or our kindergarten teachers, and that is respect. This has to be a community. In order for us to succeed, this has to be a community where our residents can work with and respect our police department. We need to have our residents work with and respect our police department. But I believe there's only one way we get there. And that is if the residents of this community believe accurately the members of our police department want to work with them and respect them. Respect is a two-way street. It's how I want to be treated. It's how you want to be treated. It's how we want our spouses and children to be treated. And the best way for us to get there is to treat other people with respect. People we disagree with, people we fought with, people who have different backgrounds. How do we put ourselves in their shoes? And the reason I believe Chief Norman will be successful in this job is because he respects people. He understands, because of his life experience, because of his service to this community, to his service on this police department, how important that one word is. Every single interaction I've ever seen Chief Norman involved in, he was respectful. And I thank you for that very much, sir. So how can he, without wearing a Superman cape, achieve this within the police department and within the community? Not an easy challenge. Maybe only Superman or Superwoman can do it. But I know one other thing, and that is if you work at it, if you try to do it on a daily basis, and you make that word permeate your organization, and you make not just that word, but that experience permeate every community meeting, angry interaction, disciplinary meeting, if you include that as part of what you are doing, we're going to have a far better chance than we have ever had before in this community to be successful. So I agree with Ed Falone that opportunity is before us. We have the right person at the right time to provide the stability, the respect, and the professionalism. Congratulations, Chief. Godspeed to you. Godspeed, City of Milwaukee. Thank you very much.
Now we will have words from Milwaukee Common Council President, President Cavalier Johnson.
Good afternoon. Mayor Barrett, Executive Director Todd, Chairman Falone, Alders Hamilton, Spiker, Borkowski, Murphy, Zamaripa, Kovac, Bauman, who are present, the chambers, friends, family. It's an honor to join you all here today as we officially welcome Jeffrey Norman to be the chief of the Milwaukee Police Department. Long road, but we got there. Chairman Falone, you were talking about people saying, well, why don't you just hire Jeff? Why don't you just hire Jeff? He's telegraphing all our private conversations to you over the course of several months. You know, like me, Chief Norman is a Milwaukee native. He's a graduate of Milwaukee Public Schools. And like me, he's lived the life of a black man in Milwaukee and in Wisconsin, and everything that comes, all the opportunities, all of the challenges as well. And with this appointment, I feel like, and I think that people in this room feel like we're getting there. We're turning the corner. We're turning the corner on some of the challenges that we've had in the Fire and Police Commission. We're doing that with new leadership. We're doing that with new members. We're turning the corner on strife within the department, within the police department, by promoting one of the department's own, long-term, 25 years on the police department, 25 years in the force. Someone who understands that we have new challenges in this new century and that the old way of doing business just won't work. We need to change the tide on that. That's what Chief Norman represents. And together we're going to turn the corner on crime affecting every neighborhood in this community. Together, we're going to work to make sure that we institute the needed investments within the Milwaukee Police Department. We're going to stabilize the Milwaukee Police Department to make sure that citizens who want and need a police response, that they actually get it. We're going to work to make sure that we take the issues of car thefts, reckless driving, and more shootings. We're going to take those head on. And together, under the leadership of Chief Jeffrey Norman, we're going to make Milwaukee safer for residents across this entire city in each and every single neighborhood. That's what we're going to do, with Chief Norman in charge. But also together, we're going to reform and modernize the police department. We're going to address the cultural issues that arise within a department that has too few Milwaukee residents and, quite frankly, too few police officers of color. We're going to move those functions that don't need to rest on the shoulders of sworn police officers so that we make a police department that is more efficient and serves the needs of our residents. And with Chief Norman, we have a truly forward-thinking leader. We have someone who will listen to anyone, literally anyone. I've seen him already at work in the time that he's been in position. He will listen to any person, whether they're offering praise or whether they're offering criticism. This man will listen, and he will learn, and he will adapt. And the police department will do that under his leadership as well. And we have someone who will deliver a safer Milwaukee for all of us, for his family, for my family, for your family, for all of us. That's sorely what we need in the city of Milwaukee. Now, look, I'm a proud Badger, okay? And Chief Norman, he's beaten me. He's a proud Panther as well as a Marquette grad. So we've got everything that we need, and we're ready to make Milwaukee stronger, ready to make Milwaukee safer, and we're ready to make Milwaukee more prosperous for everybody, for every individual, for every family, for every person who calls this city home. I'm so happy to be doing that in partnership. That man right there who's going to be leading our police department, Chief Jeffrey Norman. Congratulations, Chief. Godspeed to you.
And now from the Office of Violence Prevention, Arnita Holman.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Mayor, President Johnson, Chief Norman, everyone, for the opportunity to speak today. It's an honor to be with you and congratulate you on your 4-year appointment as Chief of the Milwaukee Police Department. The Milwaukee Police Department has always needed bold, courageous, and community-centered leadership, and even more so now. Our city deserves a leader who understands that while they hold the weight and responsibility of the task at hand, they know that it is not their effort alone that will accomplish it. A leader who creates space for dialogue, moves with intention, and stays committed to the process even when there's tension. We are here today not only because you are the man of the hour, you are also the man for the job. Chief, if you recall, we first met when you returned to District 3 as the new captain. I reached out to you through a mutual friend and colleague, then Inspector Jackson, and you were eager to meet with me and the Sisters Program staff at the Benedict Center to discuss our concerns and to request for collaboration to provide the best possible outcomes for women in the street-based sex trade. And Chief, you did not shy away from the task, and you excitedly accepted the invitation for breakfast at Sisters. We were excited to have a new captain in the district that cared enough to meet with us and move the diversion program forward. Now, that's great and all, but Chief, the truth is I'm here because you never returned the favor and invited us back to the district for breakfast. There's that. But in all seriousness, we never received that breakfast, but what we did get was a captain that kept his word about collaborating and working together to keep women that some treated as throwaways safe and provide an alternative to ticketing and arrest. I recall coming to the district with one of the Sisters participants to file a report after she was assaulted, and we encountered a couple of officers that were rude and dismissive of her claims at best. For her, it was par for the course, but for you, it was an opportunity to dignify her and do the right thing. You quickly responded to my call to discuss the encounter and without hesitation listened, made no excuses for their behavior, and reassured me that you would address the issue and that things would change. In my first few months as the recast manager in the Office of Violence Prevention, you and 2 officers participated in a domestic violence event at the request of Karen Tyler in our office. And I remember your speech at the end, and you were moved to tears when you expressed your concern about the safety of women and your commitment to do all that was in your power to keep them safe. Under your leader as the interim chief, this summer was the first time in a very long time that as a resident of the city of Milwaukee, I attended the Juneteenth celebration and didn't see officers standing on the roofs of buildings with rifles like overseers as we celebrated our liberation. As the director of the City of Milwaukee Office of Violence Prevention, I've witnessed you make every attempt to turn the tide and work collaboratively to prevent violence, and your command staff has genuinely followed suit, and they will when there is a good leader. Each of those experiences with you, including the opportunity to speak here today, because my understanding is this may be the first time an OVP director has spoken at the swearing in of the Milwaukee Police Chief, which was no small feat getting here, but it took intention and it took heart and it took will, and because of that, we are both standing here today. Or I'm standing here, but we're both here. So with your, each of the experiences that, I've had with you and your exemplary leadership has left an impression on me. Chief, when others appeared as though they couldn't care less, you have consistently showed up, listened, and followed your words with actions to prove that you couldn't care more. As I was preparing my words for today, the scripture repeatedly came to my mind in Matthew 25, 34 through the 40th verse says, "Then the king will say to those on his right, 'Come, you blessed of my Father, you favored of God, appointed to eternal salvation. Inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. For I was hungry, and you gave me something to eat. I was thirsty, and you gave me something to drink. I was a stranger, and you invited me in. I was naked, and you clothed me. I was sick, and you visited me with help and ministering care. I was in prison, and you came to me, ignoring personal danger.' Then the righteous will answer him, 'Lord, when did we see you hungry and feed you, or thirsty and give you something to drink? And when did we see you as a stranger and invite you in, or naked and clothe you? And when did we see you sick or in prison and come to you?' The king will answer and say to them, 'I assure you and most solemnly say to you, to the extent that you did it for one of these brothers of mine, even the least of them, you did it for me.'" Chief, I was overcome with emotion when you asked if I would speak at your swearing in, and I eagerly said yes because of your dedication to collaboration, your commitment to the residents of our city, your courage to step in at a tumultuous time and make moves and decisions to effectuate change, and your heart for those that many would consider the least of these. As both a resident of the City of Milwaukee and on behalf of the City of Milwaukee Office of Violence Prevention, congratulations on your well-deserved appointment to Chief of Police.
From Visit Milwaukee, Peggy Williams-Smith.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to be here today celebrating my friend, Jeff Norman. And we only met a little while ago, but I knew immediately upon meeting him what an impact he could make on our community. Since 1996, Chief Norman has served this community with a thoughtful tenacity, a dedication to justice and equity, and a profound understanding of the law. His understanding of Milwaukee, both its challenges and its opportunities, has already helped to shape his department and its relationship with the community in powerful ways. It should also not be forgotten that despite all he's experienced during his career in law enforcement and community service, Chief Norman is still very optimistic about Milwaukee's future. While Chief Norman spent a lot of time in District 3, he also spent some time in District 1, which is home to the Wisconsin Center, and a district that happens to welcome many visitors and convention attendees year-round. Through that experience, Chief Norman learned how important safety is to meeting planners and their event attendees. In fact, a safe environment is one of the most important factors planners consider when choosing a host destination. That coin goes both ways, though. Residents must also feel safe around visitors, and Visit Milwaukee is incredibly lucky to have found a partner in Chief Norman who has worked to help us achieve just that. I'm thrilled to continue this partnership with the Milwaukee Police Department and Chief Norman, who I feel so grateful to know. Congratulations, Chief. It's an honor to have worked with you in your former position, and I look forward to you excelling in your new role.
And now from Wisconsin Hispanic Scholarship Foundation and Mexican Fiesta, Teresa Mercado.
Muy buenas tardes tengan todos ustedes. Good afternoon. My name is Teresa Mercado, and I'm the Executive Director of the Wisconsin Hispanic Scholarship Foundation, Mexican Fiesta. On behalf of our board of the foundation in Mexican Fiesta, we would like to welcome and congratulate Chief Jeffrey Norman on his appointment to Chief of Police of Milwaukee Police Department. We hope and trust that your new appointment to Chief brings stability to the department and to the Fire Police Commission, so we can continue to address the issues and challenges that that we are facing in our community. Your leadership will be crucial to strengthen the relationship and collaboration between the department and our communities. Moving forward, I hope that we can have a seat and a voice at the table when it comes to issues that affect our Hispanic community, but especially our undocumented community, which is most at risk. We want to thank you, Chief Norman, for taking the time to meet with us and for the support and collaboration that you give us during the Mexican Fiesta Festival by providing the necessary resources to ensure the Mexican Fiesta remains a safe and family-friendly event in our community, so everyone can enjoy and celebrate the Mexican Hispanic culture. Congratulations, Chief Norman. Thank you.
And now for the oath of office, we're going to have Executive Director Leon Todd of the Fire and Police Commission.
This time, I'd like to invite Chief Norman and his family to join me at the podium for the administration of the oath of office.
I, Jeffrey Norman,
having been appointed to the office of Chief,
have been appointed to
have not entered into thereof,
not enter thereof,
swear that I will support
swear that I will support
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State,
and the Constitution of the States,
and will fully and faithfully
discharge
that office
said office
to the best of my ability.
best of my ability.
So help me God.
I would first like to thank the speakers today for their kind words and support. Additionally, I'd like to personally thank Mayor Barrett and Common Council President Johnson for their public support. I truly appreciate it. Over 25 years ago, in a classroom located at 68680 North Titonian Avenue, there's a group of Milwaukee police recruits talking out loud about what position they will have when they professionally grow up. One recruit stated he wanted to be a tactical officer, another a dog handler, but one stated he wanted to be the chief of police. If you could see the look on the other two rookies' face, it was priceless. Full disclosure, the audacious police recruit over 25 years ago was me. Even though my pathway to this position was not always been straight, I know that I've been properly prepared. Starting with my MPS foundation to my Marquette Law School training, my extensive and diverse experiences working in our community, living in our community, I'm absolutely, without a doubt, ready to take on this role for our community. Recently, I was asked, how's my chief experience going? My response, I feel like every day I'm juggling responsibilities. Well, she replied to my statement with this. She was told by a retired military general, you may juggle a lot of balls of responsibility, just make sure you don't drop the glass ball. I thought to myself, wow, so what is my organization's glass ball? I embrace the 6 pillars of the 21st century policing model. It hit me. Trust and legitimacy. The first pillar that every police department needs to strive to maintain is trust and legitimacy. I have to admit, as proud as I am of my brothers and sisters of the badge, proud of the work that we do, the sacrifices we've made on behalf of our community, we have to admit, though, we have not consistently been doing a great job of keeping that glass ball in the air locally and nationally. I will say this. Even though our glass ball has been dropped a number of times, we may have scratched it and even have some deep cracks. But our glass ball of trust and legitimacy is not shattered. No, the vision of a department where every member engages with our community to have neighborhoods free of crime, self-sustaining, and maintained by positive relationships, I can see we're repairing those cracks and scratches by keeping that glass ball more and more in the air. My goal of utilizing community engagement is not about officers giving out ice cream cones and lollipops, even though that's not bad to do. It's about understanding how we can best provide a service, to know what other resources are available to us. I want to build excellent working relationships with every citizen as we put forth efforts to create a sustainable community with workable public safety solutions. I will once ask, are you law and order or are you community engagement? I replied, why can't I be both? But if I need to choose one, I choose community engagement because that allows me how to understand effectively and cooperatively how to dispense law and order. I see value in working with our elected officials, our governing bodies such as the FPC, and our community stakeholders so we can have an all-hands-on-deck approach to public safety. I love seeing us work great with our residents and being actively engaged with them. The Milwaukee Police Department has turned over a new leaf in our cooperation with community and government partners. Actions such as working on partnerships with prevention with the Office of Violence Prevention, or the Violence Reduction through Public Health and Safety Team, or rethinking our criminal justice system through the Community Justice Council are sustainable, long-term teamwork solutions for public safety. Working with law enforcement partners at the federal, state, and local levels is a great team activity when the work is targeted and focused on those who create the most harm in our community. Only through effective community engagement are we able to accomplish this lift as working as partners rather than silos. Milwaukee, as your chief, I'm committed to working with you to ensure we are putting our best foot forward to provide a safe community for us all. I understand we have violent crime and reckless driving concerns that are at historic levels, but I'm committed to impacting those concerns by using constitutional actions, teamwork, and effective deployment of our finite resources. I am committed to fulfilling our Collins Settlement Agreement, but not just to be done, but to introduce a new sustainable era of accountability and legitimate police actions. I'm committed to working together to save our community's children who are crying for help and guidance. I'm committed to ensuring our department is as efficient and effective as possible, examining what is necessary staffing needs and how to best utilize our sworn and non-sworn members. I'm committed to seeking out those new leaders to become part of our team by working with the FPC to ensure we get those who understand 21st century policing and how we need to work with the community, not against them. In the end, I am committed to our great city, and I'm committed to working with anyone, any entity who feels the same. I see a great future in our city, and the Milwaukee Police Department will not be walking in front nor in back, but side by side with those who believe and work towards the same vision and goal. Now I'd like to take the time to say a couple of acknowledgments for those individuals and groups who helped me to get to this honorable position. Please be patient with me. There are a number of thank yous I have to put out there, but if I miss anyone, blame it on the head, not the heart. First, I'd like to thank God for I would not been as resilient and focused throughout this experience without the many blessings and grace. Yeah. Well, I tell you, I practiced this many times trying to get myself right with this. Next. I want to thank my wife of almost 20 years, Dr. Sharnisa Norman, for her unwavering support and love. I know without you, I would never have the strength nor believe this was possible. Thank you, and I love you, baby. Whew, my goodness. The older I get, the more water-eyed I get. To my beautiful and highly intelligent children, Kyle Norman, a soccer phenom, a 2021 conference first team. My beautiful daughter, Sydney Norman, a 2021 Milwaukee Ballet Nutcracker with 2 roles, Mother Ginger and the Party Kid. I love you, children. Daddy loves you. Thank you. To my parents, Jesse B. Norman Jr. passed away last year. I feel his spirit with me today. My mother, Sue Norman, who I'm blessed to have here today with me. Milwaukee, you can blame them or thank them, but they are the ones who have built this man who see before you now. I love you, Mama. To my in-laws, Floyd and Doreen Harris, the best in-laws in the world. You have been there with my wife and I for every step of the way. You take care of us and your grandchildren in a way that allows Sharnisa and I to be available for our respective professions. Thank you, and I both love you dearly. To my siblings, my brother back there, love you. To my sisters, Michelle and Tina, my brother-in-law, Kevin, thank you for all that you do, your support. I appreciate you all. To my extended family here, the Norman family, the Harris, the Williams, I'd like to give a special shout out to Ricky Norman, Sr. You've been to all my promotions, and I appreciate you, sir. Thank you, and I love all y'all. Thank you to the Fire and Police Commission for your unanimous support and confidence in me. I want to give a special shout out to Commissioners Crothers and Commissioners Cocroft in regards to being in my corner the entire time and never giving up on me or in the process. Thank you, sirs. To the Common Council, thank you for your words of encouragement and support, but a special appreciation to my 3 alders from District 3 Commander days. Alderman Ballman, Alderman Murphy, I don't see you, Alderman Stamper, I know you're around here in spirit, but thank you for being tough on me, or supporting me early in my process in becoming chief. Thank you, sirs. I appreciate you. To my brothers and sisters of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated, Zeta Phi Beta Incorporated, and Jack and Jill of America, I am so proud of you all. Thank you for the love and support you have given me. I'd like to give a special thank you to Brother Alderman Ashanti Hamilton and Brother Ossie Kendricks in regards to the support and the work that we've done for this city and for this position. And also a shout out to Jasmine Johnson, wherever you are, for your advocacy on behalf of Jack and Jill for me becoming chief. Thank you all. I also want to give a special shout out to Reggie and Charlene Moore for helping me connect with our city and all of its residents at a deeper level. Thank you. To the brothers and sisters of McClea and Wisconsin police chiefs and sheriffs, thank you for your support and long-distance travels to be here. As the saying goes, a suspect cannot outrun the radio. but I change it to this. As a team, a suspect cannot outrun us. Thank you, and I look forward to further working with you all in regards to our community safety across this county, across this state. Thank you. To my brothers from another mother, Fire Chief Aaron Lipsky and Sheriff Ernell Lucas, thank you for your consistent cooperation and sharing of resources between your dedicated staff and MPD. We're truly experiencing a new chapter of cooperation and trust that has never been shared before, and I'm looking forward to what we can accomplish for the sake of community safety. Last but not least, may the men and women of the Milwaukee Police Department please stand at this time. Thank you for that heartfelt appreciation to men and women who are dedicated to serving our community. I am honored and pleased to be your leader, and I'm committed to providing the support and resources to get the very best version of you every day that you come to work. But in return, I expect loyalty, professionalism, collaboration, and humane behavior to our elected officials, our community partners, but most importantly, our residents. We must be steadfast, committed to positively engaging our community in order to be effectively impact our public safety. In closing, I want to thank each and every one of you here today for being a part of this wonderful ceremony. I wish you all God's blessings, safety, and good health. Thank you.